Hey Mac, this one is great. Soul diggers, extortion. Yeah, you hear it often. Let's go, let's go. Targets those who are falling. Let's go, extortion. Yeah, you hear it often. It's them dudes that like to take money, not make money, because they are some lazy hustlers.
But you know, when you called me and you said, let's get this interview, and I first of all, thank you for having me. But I wanted to really hit some pertinent topics, some topics that I feel like is pertinent. And that is the state of the streets and hip hop and what's going on right now. Right. And I always hear, you know, a lot of these cats who never really was about that life talk about there is no rules in the street. There is rules. You motherfuckers just don't know them, and you ain't abiding by them. That's why it's anarchy.
And some of them know them and just don't know about them.
Well, because there's no metric to be able to really enforce it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get some guys from every state and they all playing by these rules, it's pretty hard for you to deviate and go outside the lines. But what happened was in the 80s when they put the 1992 Truth and Sentencing Guideline and started locking everybody up, they took all of us from the kids. And the kids that you see now is the descendants of the crack babies. A lot of those crack mothers that was having babies, that's what you're seeing now, because you got to figure the crack era, I want to say, is from 83, 84 to about 95, really. You know what I'm saying?
Strong,
yeah. So and you know, and in the 80s it was really, really hectic. So now you got these kids growing up.
You got all the way up to 2000.
That too. Because
Go ahead.
what? I just was saying that I see these young cats, you know, with the drill music and all of that and the rap, and I really feel bad for them because they don't have no guidance, and they don't have no. And when I say OG, I'm talking about a credible OG that's not looking for nothing from them, but just to guide them, to give them game. And what starts to happen is, in my humble opinion, when these young dudes start getting that amount of money, it's really hard for anybody to tell them anything, particularly if you broke, because they don't respect wisdom and time. They'll be like, "Fuck, you can tell me you broke." And any young dudes that I get, and I get the opportunity to speak to them, I always lay down the foundation and tell them how they should be moving and what they should be doing, because the shit we was doing in the 80s, in the 90s, you just can't do it no more. The cameras everywhere, and then and I don't take the position of knocking the drill dudes and all of that, but I just want them to be more smarter. You can't be having a beef with somebody and then go put it on record and talk about the beef that you really having that's now. Like, even when we was coming up, people that make a record and they'll talk about their life, but it's past tense. It's the shit I already did and got away with, and you know the statutory limitation is already gone. You can't be talking about you selling drugs right now and you gang and you selling drugs right now. That's not gonna work, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and the whole thing we was doing, even in the game, the music industry was a way out. And it's like they doing it backwards now. They getting in the music game and then they catching bodies.
They're going to jail.
Yeah, and like, so now all of that money is not gonna do anything for you, but that comes because it's a lack of guidance, man. And it's a lack of discipline, and there's no structure. You know what I'm saying?
Part of it is technology, and they don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? And the technology is the powers that be will push the drill music. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when the government deal with us, they watch us and they see how we react to certain things. It's like the ants on candy. You put a piece of candy on the street, all the ants going to attack it, and we watch them and we see what they do. They go, they'll take crumbs and whoop, 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 right? So now what happens is they watch us. The drill music going to play, instead of them killing it, they put gasoline to it. Because now the young niggas, they not thinking, they saw our era of gangster rap where, and we saying, yo, these niggas was CB4, these niggas was faking it, oh, these niggas ain't that. So now when they come in it, they feel like they gotta be that. They gotta do that to prove that they not faking.
That's a whole,
and that's the technology that's sending them all to jail.
And that's a whole nother conversation, because if you notice, right, they'll give a kid 18, 17, 15, 16 $1 million and he's a drill rapper. Bro, what kind of experience does he really have? I'm talking about life experience. No. So he think he doing something real. You give him $1 million, he'll go spend $100,000 on guns for his team. Now, in that world, in that small world, that's a real shit to do, because we got beef. You know what I'm saying? But it's such a bigger picture, and they don't have no experience. They don't have nobody with them with no wisdom to tell them, nah, this is a trap. You know what I'm saying? Because you got this $1 million and you went and got the gang dudes. You went and bought some guns and some drugs. Now you caught up in a conspiracy, and you don't even know, because you call yourself doing something real. But if you had somebody around you that actually could give you some game and show you how to do other things, nah, bro, make that dude pick up a camera. Yo, make that dude be the barber. Yo, make that dude be the stylist. To give everybody real, legitimate positions where they could really capitalize and make money in life. We all just want to be real. Again, when we was coming up, we was the stars, and the rappers followed us around. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to be and dress like us. And then when we all started falling in the 80s and the 90s and getting these long ass bids, there was really nobody here to pass the game down, to be able to tell them, yo, this is how you move. Let's even go back, because even when before us, I'm a generation or two before, because Nicki and it was like the 60s, 70s, right?
Nicky Barnes,
yeah. Frank Matt, all those cats, right?
Yeah.
But I was born in the 60s, so I'm a little kid in the 70s. But I don't come out in the street until the 80s. They started locking all of them guys up. Like the first people they locked up with that RICO was them cats. Right. So now they realize that if they put a package in a young boy's hand, you get let go from the precinct. You don't really get in a lot of trouble. That's what first started letting the young boys, because before you couldn't hustle if you was a young boy.
Right. You take your ass to school.
Yeah, you might could get a lookout if you 17, 18.
Right.
Yeah, you'd have to go to school. They don't play that shit, because that was a grown man's game. Right. But when they locked all of them up, we was there. Now we saw it, and we had like a first-hand eye of the game, and some of us might have been fortunate enough to have an uncle or older brother or somebody to give you the game and teach you the game, but we was doing on the fly as well. We was learning on the fly as well too. But we still had a bird's eye view at those guys to be able to see how it's supposed to look. Bro, in the 90s, it took a lot of people out, and them talking all over the country. They started, when I came home in 2002, it bugged me out that the rappers was the guys now. Those was the guys that you had the hustlers follow behind the rappers. Right. And that was just something that wasn't heard of, because those dudes, first of all, they wasn't getting a lot of money. Second of all, they wasn't about no life. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't about that. We was. But now, you know, it got turned around, like in the 90s, the mid-90s and the 2000s, you seen it. They locking everybody up. I fell in 92. They started locking everybody up, and there was nobody to raise these dudes and give them the game.
I locked them 91.
Yeah, and not to give these dudes the game. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's why you see the anarchy that you have on the street now, because it's really by design. The play was this. Let's take all these leaders and lock them up. Anybody that could put a crew together and have 10, 15, 25 dudes under them, regardless of what you was doing, you had leadership qualities. Yeah. Well, when you take those dudes away, you got what you got now, anarchy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just unorganized. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, it's a free fall. Everybody doing what they do. You know, snitching is at an all-time high, and motherfuckers a rat and come back out, and they ain't really no consequences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the 6ix9ine dude. That situation right there is like blew my mind.
It didn't blow mine because I don't know how nobody couldn't see what was coming. That was a train wreck just waiting to happen because.
No, this is what blew my mind. Let me be specific. What blew my mind? He portrayed a gangbanger without.
K-Mac. This one is great. Soul diggers. Extortion. Yeah. You hear it often. Let's go. Targets those who are ballin'.